this episode, I'm tuned in at Xclusiv Barber and Beauty Lounge in Fredericksburg, Virginia, with my boy Chris. How you doing, sir?
Good, man.
It's good to see
Good
you,
to
man.
have you back,
It's
man.
good to be home, and I had to, come to VA and get my barbers. I know I'm in ATL, but I had to come home and get the home team.
We appreciate you.
So I got one VA barber, so now I got another VA barber.
Yeah.
So Chris, just introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
I'm Chris, from Colonial Beach, Virginia, 28. Barber, I've been cutting for about 6, 7 years, going on 7 years, and it's been a journey, but we here now. Part owner of Xclusiv Barber and Beauty Lounge in Fredericksburg, and it's been a long road, but I thank God.
Well, since you part owner of the beauty lounge or the Xclusiv Barber and Beauty Lounge, how did you become part owner of the beauty lounge?
Just the relationship that I have with my cousin / barber mentor.
Okay.
He brought me in at the age of 23, something like that. I was just coming back from a lottery project. I was a contractor with the lottery, installing lottery machines, but my daughter was 3 years old, and my dad told me, he was like, man, you're spending a lot of time away from home, and your daughter miss you, and that really hit home for me. So I was like, man, you know what? I'ma just come back home and pick the clippers up again. And he called me and gave me an opportunity, said he had a chair, and I've been rocking with him ever since.
Wow, that's amazing, man. So since you're a young barber in the game, so how does that feel being young in the barbering world?
I like it. I get, it's trendy being a young barber. As you get older in the game, you kind of stick to what you know. But when you're young, you see all the trends on Instagram. Everybody using these new clippers and doing new techniques, and it's easier for you to pick up on it. But when you get older, you get kind of stuck in your ways. So I'm on the fence. With it, I'm getting older. I've been cutting for a little minute, so I like to stick to what I know. But at the same time, I do like to still dibble and dabble in the new stuff that's going on. So I like the position that I'm in right now. I get to relate to the young, and still get to hang with the older guys too.
Okay. And so did anybody give you your first clippers, anything like that?
My first pair of clippers, nah. I bought my first pair of clippers from the dollar store.
Really? Let's talk about that experience.
I was just watching this guy on YouTube try to cut his own hair. I can't remember exactly who it was. But yeah, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try this. And I went to dollar store down the street, grabbed these, was it wall clippers? But the ones that at the dollar store, they don't come with the guards that you're really supposed to have. Your one be so small, then you go to a big, two guards. How I'm supposed to fade in between? So, that fade ain't really come out too well, but I ain't messing nothing up too bad. So it was pretty, that's what got me into the game.
Okay. So how much do you feel that you've grown since then?
I've grown a lot. I ain't really know much back then. Now, spending the time in the barbershop, watching the YouTube videos and just perfecting my craft, inside and outside the barbershop on my own. I've grown a lot. I feel like I can attack pretty much any type of haircut you need me to do. I'm not here to say I'm the perfect barber. It's still things that I, want to learn. But, I've grown a lot since then, since being a beginner barber and being about 6, 7 years in.
Okay. All right. That's good. So what about you say you have a barber mentor?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit.
He's my cousin, Will. He's the guy that believed in me enough to, give me I had the vision, but give me the opportunity to say, I'm part owner of a shop. He just gave me the space to pretty much just kind of be free, just be who I am. And he was cool because I felt like because we was from the same area and we knew the same people, it was an instant connection. So he was more willing to pour into me and, want to see me develop in the barber game. He had a lot more patience
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He got patience anyway, but I think he had a lot more love for me just because he knew my background and we shared the same background of where we came from.
Okay. So having a barber mentor, why is that important to you? Like, why is that important?
Because you get to see the things that work in the industry, the things that separate, you know, a barber like him who's been in the game for years and being successful, being booked up every day,
Yeah.
and the things that separate him from, you know, the barber that's just there for the money, so to say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
you know, I just thank God for a mentor like him because I feel like I get to see a lot of, you know, the positive things in the barber world. You know, I see how to grow fast, and I think implementing what I've learned from him from the jump, it helped me grow in a lot of ways.
Okay. So what about, so you've been in the barbering world for 6 or 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Not 67, 6 to 7.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What about barbering awards? Do you have any awards, anything like that?
Awards?
Because I know the young barbers are trending, but barbering is trending, period. But do you have any awards in barbering? Because that's the thing too. Like Connecticut just had their barbering expo.
I haven't made it on a big stage like that yet, you know. Hopefully one day. The only award I would say, accolade award. I mean, I got that trophy right there from Barber Battle. Being in the DMV Illest Barbers magazine and them introducing me as like the next generation barber was a accolade / award for me.
Yeah.
Because I just never thought that would be, you know, I would be a part of something like that.
Okay.
So I think that was I would consider that for myself a award or accolade.
That's really good though, because you deserve it.
Appreciate it.
You deserve it. You're humble, you know, and I'm humble as well. So, you know, good things come to those who wait. And man, you just stay humble. Yeah. Just stay humble and just let the Clippers do the talking.
That's me, man. I don't do a lot of
talking. Let's let the Clippers do the talking. So you got your awards. You so basically, I also saw on your Instagram you lined up a few hometown heroes. Yeah. Can you expand on that a little bit? Man,
those were just opportunities that I waited for a long time. Cutting Torrey Smith, you know, we from the same town, Colonial Beach. Okay. You know, he went to school up here in Stafford for a little bit. I think that's where he graduated. Then went off to Maryland and did exciting stuff. You know, I followed him just because I knew, you know, we was from the same area. And I think we all knew that he was going to the league, you know, fast, he could catch.
Yep.
He had challenges his first year in the league. I definitely watched him a lot, me being a Ravens fan. I think when he went there, though, it just took the cake from me. And it was just amazing to see somebody from my town make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
Me getting to cut his hair I cut his brother, Trey.
Okay.
And Trey, well, even before Trey, just him making it to the league, I honestly prayed about it a long time ago.
Okay.
And I was like, man, that's something that I asked God, I was like, that's something that I would really love to do.
Yeah.
And he answered it. I was cutting his brother's hair one day, and I stepped off to the bathroom, and I happened to have my Ravens gear on that day. I was in the bathroom, Trey called. He was like, man, I got a proposition for you. I'm like, who are you talking about? So he was like, man, Torrey need a cut. He needed a cut, and the boys need a cut. The only thing is he had football practice, so it would be late. And I was like, man, you know what? Man, I always wanted to go cut Torrey. Just tell him I'm on my way. I'm just go home, eat real quick, and I'm gonna head up there right after I eat. I was just like, send me the address. And he took a little while to get back to me, but I just took off anyway. I left from Woodbridge. I was on the way to Maryland. I knew he was, you know, up in the Baltimore area, so I just shot towards that way. And then his brother sent me the address probably like 30 minutes after I left. And I headed to his house.
Wow.
Pulled up, and I was like, I got to meet him. I've met him before, but to actually be in his space
absolutely.
And we get to talk one-on-one, I get to, you know, cut the kids, it was a blessing. You know, that was one of my favorite moments in the barber game for sure.
That's good.
Being able to,
that's good.
You know, get to cut him, that was a blessing.
Yeah,
cut Justin Anderson.
Okay.
I've been cutting his nephew for a little minute, and then he was home one day. He sat in my chair, let me cut him. Maurice Kennedy.
Okay.
He's from like the Richmond area.
Yeah.
He played cornerback for the Ravens, the Jets, the Cowboys. Went to UVA, and I still cut him, you know, pretty much about every month or two. He's a dope guy. I like him. I like his energy. He's funny, fun. We played a game, played Call of Duty, 2K together. So we developed a relationship. So, you know, God put me in a bunch of different places that, you know, I prayed for, and I thank him for that.
That's good. You deserve it. Yeah. You deserve it, yo. Like, all you got to do is stay in the craft, man. It's the same with me with filmmaking and this podcast. This thing has grown astronomically, and I'm just, if I can tell anybody else out there, just be consistent in anything.
I seen you with Afion Crockett.
That right there, that interview right there, look, let me tell you something. You talking about driving 30 minutes, that's a testimony for you, but my testimony, I need to talk about that. Because when I did the interview with Afion, I one of my boys named Danny Rag, shout out to Danny Rag, he was on tour with him, open, and I waited 3 days to get that interview.
Wow.
3 days. So I was supposed to come up to Raleigh, North Carolina. I think it was Raleigh Improv for like 1 day. And I just kept waiting. And got close, got good with the security. I saw all the shows. I think he had 2 shows. I saw I saw 4 shows. And then the 6th show, before they started the 5th show on that Sunday, he told me Saturday I could get the interview. I waited around. He's like, "You ready?" I said, "Yep." Walked in there. So just like you. So that's the humble beginnings, man. I mean, that's so, you know, people see us with celebrities cutting hair, see us with, but they're just people just like us, you know, and that's why, you know, Luda and all those guys and people that I know have their numbers and things like that, but it's a job. They're people, you know. So where do you see yourself in the future of barbering?
The future of barbering, man.
You think about it.
You know, before we opened up a shop, you know, I always thought about the suites thing.
The suite what?
Like having a suite.
Oh, a suite, barber suite.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The barber, but it's been kind of lost. But what I would like to do is to open up like a second location and have it a lot more personal, you know, with the barbers, like each barber having his own little suite area.
Oh, like closed in?
Yeah, more so closed in.
Okay.
But all still under the same roof. You know, we're right there. You know, still be able to step across the room or, you know, go talk to one another. Been thinking about that. But as for me, I would like to be, you know, more of a influencer / educator in the barber world. You know, maybe have people get to know me a little bit more outside of the barbering thing. You know, all of the passions that I have that come into barbering and from barbering. So yeah, just being more of a, you know, somebody that people watch, kind of like not exactly, you know, doing the same thing, but like the Vic Blends. People like that really let you see more, you know, what they got going on in the barber world. So I would like to be like, kind of like on that level a little bit with it.
I can see that. I mean, you're already doing it now. You just gotta stay consistent, like we already just talked about.
Just motivating people.
Exactly. So Father's Day is coming up. What is it like being a father and managing the barbering life?
I love being a father. Being a father changed me. You know, I was a kid before I had kids. You know, I had my first child at the age of 20, and you know, I didn't think this way at all. But when I had my first daughter, it just opened my eyes a lot, because, you know, it changed on, you know, how I treat women. It changed my views on a lot of stuff, you know, how I hold on to my money, spending my money. Just trying to take care of my kids more. That was like the primary thing for me. And it changed me for the better, I would say. You know, once I had kids, I feel like that's when I turned into a man. You know, I thought, you know, on a more adult level once I had my first child, and now I'm 3 in, so and 3 girls.
3 girls? Oh, they got you on that finger, boy. But there's one thing that you said, and I normally wouldn't go here, but I'm gonna go here.
Yeah.
You know, there's this thing on social media where a lot of different podcasts are talking about bashing women and things like that. So you said that it helped you change your perspective on, I guess, ways to treat women and things like that. How have you grown with your approach with talking to women?
I just try to be a lot more sensitive and communicate more. You know, that's something that my wife talked to me about a lot, just communicating.
Was it easy for you to receive that?
Yes and no. You know, because I've always been the type of person to just deal with my problems on my own. You know, I don't want to talk much. I don't really have much to say. You know, I'll sit and soak in my feelings for as long as I need, and then eventually I'll shake out of it. But, you know, it wasn't healthy. You know, especially when you married, kids, you know, your partner, your wife don't want to, you know, be right there beside you. You don't want to talk to her. She's trying to figure out what's going on. So it just helped me, you know, learn how to communicate, you know, be more sensitive, and love more, you know, just be open and be me, you know, instead of bottling everything up. So
when you got the right partner, it makes it easy, right?
For sure.
Okay, I just wanted to sum it up. So that's Father's Day, man. Are you looking for anything for Father's Day? What the girls got you? You think they got something for you? Got 3?
They always have something.
What they be up to?
Whether it's a card or what you mean? What they be up to?
Like a gift? Like a gift? Are they ready to surprise you?
Anything. They surprise me in many ways. With my oldest daughter, Kennedy, she might write me a card. You know, she might give me a little gift or something like that. But she always thinking about me. And my wife always had the two babies, just whether it's a card or, you know, she give me cologne, stuff like that. You know, I don't really be looking for nothing, but they always make sure I got something. Might be my favorite
amazing.
Snacks or just whatever, Clippers.
That's good.
You name it.
That's good, man. Being the present father is also important.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of dads out here that aren't. So I commend you for stepping up, and not stepping up, but just doing your part.
Yeah.
You know, which is important. What advice would you give someone that wants to get into barbering as we wrap this up?
That wants to get into barbering. Go for it. I would say the best route for me was the apprenticeship route. You know, things are high right now. The economy is crazy. So barber school is very expensive, and I feel like even though you will get the sanitation part down, they'll walk you through the book stuff like that, you really won't get your hands-on experience until you end the barbershop. That's where you're gonna do most of your learning on how to cut hair. And you get to learn it from multiple different people. You know, the person you cut next to, the person that might be in the front of the shop, across from you. I think you'll learn faster that way. And do your research outside of the barbershop too. Like, I learned a lot from watching YouTubers, YouTube barbers, Instagram barbers. Some of my favorites was E. Jones TV. That's who got me into the barber game. Cashy T has grown to be like my top barber. I feel like he is the guy. Vic Blands, I learned a lot from Vic Blands. Funny thing, I feel like I didn't really start to really get this barbering thing down until I subscribed to Vic Bland's course. So that's a gem for y'all that at home and want to learn how to cut hair. Vic Blands has a course, an online course that'll walk you through everything you need to know about barbering. And when I got that, that's when I really started to learn at a rapid rate. And I would just say, once you start making the money, just make sure you use it wisely. Don't blow it. It's easy to blow it because you get money on hand every day. So you just gotta make sure you spend your money wisely, save your money, and make sure you pay your taxes. And keep good credit, because down the line, you're gonna need that, trust me.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you want to add that we left out?
Another barber that really influenced me in the barber game, he's right in the area. I just want to give a shout out to him. His name is Tone at the Gentleman's Club. He's the one that I saw. he would go on the road and cut a lot of, you know, NFL players and stuff like that. And I was like, man, that's got to be a dope experience. So, you know, he motivated me in that area. So I just want to give a big shout out to him too. You know, no, I don't talk to you every day, but you know, I never forgot, bro. You definitely motivated me in the game too. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Gentlemen's Club.
Cool. Well, this wrap. Thank you, Chris, for your time. I really appreciate that. This wraps another episode of the Black Barbers Doc podcast at Xclusiv Barber and Beauty Lounge in Fredericksburg, Virginia.